what's up? It's Jehan and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's been quite the hiatus since I've talked to you guys last and I'm very sorry about that. I graduated college and I moved back into my parents' place because I might be unemployed, but I sure can paint. But here's how I learned how to paint. This video today is how I became a self-taught artist. So first things first, what exactly is a self-taught artist? I would define that as someone who has taught themselves outside of the classic teacher classroom kind of scenario. And let me clarify this right off the bat. I am 100% for art education. It is incredibly underfunded in many school districts and is kind of on the verge of collapse in a lot of school districts. So definitely for it, not against it. We're not against teachers here. Also, I really want to go on the record saying that I'm not underprivileged. I don't want you guys to like pity me or anything. I chose to learn this way, which is maybe bizarre to some, but for me, it worked out pretty well. For all of the people who kind of have to either turn to online for direction or are like me and kind of have a unique learning style, this video is for you. A brief history. Now that I've clarified that, I'm the kind of person where for me to learn, I'm pretty kinesthetic, so I have to really get my hands on things. And because of that kind of sporadic way of thinking, in combination with impatience, I've never really done super well in classes. In my memory bank, I can recall going to art classes in elementary school and then one time outside of that. But I got so bored that I just ended up drawing anime characters the whole time, and the teacher fully just gave up on me and bought me a like how to draw anime characters book, slapped it on the table, and then I was just in the corner just doing my own thing the whole time. Never really did well in the class setting. Now here is a very key piece of missing information. My mom is an artist. Maybe that will help solve the mystery of why a recently graduated unemployed kiddo has access to a studio. Granted, my mom and me do very different styles. She's more of the type to do kind of abstract pieces based on science, and then I'm into kind of portraiture and pop art. But I think it's super important to mention that because from a really, really young age, there was always a lot of encouragement for me going towards the visual arts. Because I didn't want to go to art classes past middle school, one might ask, you are one, you could ask, how I got into painting and drawing and whatever. This might be weird because I have a whole painting themed art channel, but I've only really been painting for about a year and a half now, but I've been drawing since I was 2. Now what's funny is I think I might have accidentally given myself quite a well-rounded portrait education, and I want to share frankly the weird ass shit that I did to get there. Line work through forgery. Now this might be strange, but what did you expect? I accidentally taught myself line work because as a kid I was obsessed with forging celebrities' signatures. Now you might picture me in a trench coat running through the hallways passing out hall passes and report cards and prescriptions and running away. But the truth is that I was such a goody-goody as a kid that I genuinely just copied these signatures as a hobby. Little did I know though that this weird hobby would have taught me so much about the basics of line work, which again, not an art teacher, but in my mind are line weight and accuracy. To test my accuracy, I love to copy ones that had lots of complicated lines and different shapes to them. And my line weight scales, how thick or thin the line is, were definitely put to the test because to have a proper forgery, you have to make sure that you're copying all of the pressure of the pen or pencil. Over time, I found that this weird hobby made me weirdly a lot better at drawing because I was able to look at drawings and pictures and copy them a lot easier because I felt more comfortable just drawing. It felt like I was just like thinking. The anime obsession. Now I've mentioned this in other videos of mine, but I was a world-class weeb back in middle school. Considering that at the same time, I also was running around showing kids my dark poetry, which was just creepy. Just like I'm looking in the mirror and what will appear but a face or what, just creepy shit. And then also showing kids like my forged signatures. I was definitely the coolest kid in school. Now I love anime and manga still to this day, but my love for it was completely different at that time. At that time, I wanted legit to be an anime illustrator. I would legit spend hours after school just copying manga characters over and over and over again into my sketchbooks. I was so inspired by how dynamic dynamic and expressive anime characters are. And over time, instead of just copying other characters, I wanted to try to make my own. And I would draw my own mangas, and I'll say none of them were good, but I had fun doing it, and that's all that really matters. I actively pursued being a future anime illustrator for about 2 to 3 years after that, just copying and copying and drawing and drawing. But that's when I noticed that I particularly cared and focused on anime characters' faces. I feel like the main question that I get asked is, how did I get into portraiture? And the real answer is the show Ink Master. Ink Master is a tattooist competition show where tons of super talented tattoo artists compete to be the ultimate ink master. I was completely tantalized by this show as a kid, and I remember being like absolutely enthralled by the fact that people could make skin look three-dimensional. To create portraits on skin seemed like the ultimate challenge to me. And even though I don't have any tattoos, in the back of my brain I was like, maybe I'll just be the tattoo-free tattooer. I'm gonna be the only one. And then I saw an episode of Ink Master where this one guy who like only has one tattoo got completely clowned on by everyone. So I was like, dream crushed, moving on. But I was still very intrigued by portraits and portraiture. I remember seeing on the show how they used a wider diffuse needle to shade the face, and I figured I could emulate that with pencil for my lines and charcoal as my shading. I was sitting right here actually, which is the studio now but used to be a game room. I had just finished watching an Ink Master clip on my phone. I opened a magazine, like just some random Teen Vogue or something, and I saw a perfume ad that I was like, that girl's really beautiful. And I was just like, let me just try drawing her. Why not? Just give it a go. I had never really tried to draw a person realistically at that point, maybe a couple of times here and there, but it was like a catastrophe. With my new mindset to focus on the shading rather than lines and a couple of years of anime drawing under my belt, I felt more confident this time. After I drew that one perfume woman, I became seriously interested in portraiture. Every day after school from around like 16 to 19, I would go home and just draw people's faces. I'd say that after teaching myself line work through forgery, learning how to illustrate and produce stuff accurately from anime, and just straight up practicing portraiture is how I came to my current skill set. I took a short creative break from 20 to 21, and when I turned 22, I went into hyperdrive when I discovered painting. Painting. I've been painting now since December of 2019, and I honestly just started it because I wanted to try out a new medium. I had just been doing drawing for so long that I wanted to try something new. Little did I know that painting, she was the one. I just love how smooth and opaque paint is. I love how paintbrushes feel in my hand. Most importantly, I love that when I'm painting, or frankly just editing a YouTube video, I'm not focused on anything else. I'm living in the moment, and that's what I love about it. Recently, I started oil painting, and let me just say, it has been the best decision of my life. I know that my most viewed videos are of me doing acrylic portraits, but like I just told you in this timeline, those were some of my first portraits that I painted ever. Now that I've had more time to kind of get more into this medium, oil paint is definitely superb, and I want to make a video on it, but my knowledge is just me extracting knowledge from all of these different YouTube videos for the most part. If you guys would be interested in just a what I know about oil painting video, I'd be happy to make that for you. Let me know down below. Interrupting your broadcast to bring you art-themed jewelry. If you guys like what you see, check out Yellow Owl Workshop. Women-owned, incredible people, and great prices. I'm not sponsored, I just got sent these pieces and I love them, and as far as I know, I don't get anything from this code, but you can use code Alia for 20% off. Back to the video. I hope you guys got something from listening to my weird ass art journey. Leave your art journeys down below. I'm curious to hear, how did you become the artist that you are today? Are you classically trained, self-taught with a mom who's a painter? Let me know. Also, I wanted to let you guys know that the winner of who I'm going to be painting from my brainstorming video is Rihanna. Is there anything else to tell you? Oh, I started this thing on my Instagram and my TikTok called 3-Day Paintings because I'm such a perfectionist. I am going to stick to a deadline of 3 days that I only get that 3-day window to work on a painting. So they're not gonna be necessarily masterpieces, but I want to post more regularly here. I hate just popping in every 2 months and then being like, bye and then not seeing you guys, we're gonna be posting more regularly. So I hope you guys like that. And if you have any suggestions of other people that you wanna see me paint, just pop them down below because I'm always out of ideas, to be honest. But with all of that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, like it. If you wanna subscribe, that'd be sick. And just go make shit. Bye.